coming up on the February 20th edition of Sports Extra. The men's basketball team took on Virginia in front of a raucous Dean Dome crowd and turned the Who's into the Boo-Hoo Crew.
On the women's side, Jamie Cherry can't stop draining threes. We'll show you her latest cherry bomb.
And the defending champs were back at it, getting some high-quality wins in the process.
All that and so much more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
It was a week jam-packed with Carolina sports, and we're here to catch you up. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Peyton Walker.
And I'm Caleb Waters. The Heels took on Virginia this weekend in a high-profile matchup with big implications. Oh, you thought I was talking about basketball. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's recap how the men's tennis team did at the ITA semifinals in Charlottesville on Sunday. Virginia had the edge on the Heels all day, attacking the net consistently to get easy points like that one there. Virginia clinched the win after this rally by Alexander Richard, defeating UNC's Jack Murray and costing Carolina another shot at the title. Virginia blanks UNC 4-0.
Before that heartbreaking loss in the semis to UVA, the South's oldest rivalry took to the hardwood on Saturday night when the 10th-ranked Tar Heels hosted the number 14 Virginia Cavaliers in ESPN's Game of the Week. It was the Justin Jackson show as the junior poured it in from outside, scoring 18 points in the first half. Jackson shot 4 from 8 from beyond the arc, and he also dished dimes like this one to Isaiah Hicks for the jam. The Who's, on the other hand, couldn't buy a shot for most of the game, shooting only 2 for 20 from the perimeter. Lyndon Parentes himself had a couple of air balls like this right there, nothing but air, and he was not too happy with his performance. Kennedy Meeks, on the other hand, added 13 points with some sweet post moves and a couple of monster blocks like this to finish off the Cavaliers as the Heels win big 65-41. Fans who were in the Dean Dome on Saturday night not only got to see a great Tar Heel win, but also got to welcome back 2 familiar faces, Marcus Page and Bryce Johnson. Coach Williams had a few words to say about his former and possibly favorite players. Page and Johnson, joined by their families, were back during the NBA All-Star break to have their jersey numbers officially honored. Page, who finished his 4-year Carolina career as the all-time leader in three-pointers made, was honored for being named second-team All-America as a sophomore. Johnson was honored for being a consensus first-team All-America pick last season. Joel Berry said it was inspiring to have those 2 players back in Chapel Hill.
It's always good to see them just because we never get a chance to talk that much throughout the season because they're doing their own thing, we're doing our own thing. So to have them back was special, and I'm just glad I got to see them.
From injuries to 24-point victories, it's been a wild week of Carolina basketball, and we have basketball analyst Lindsay Sparrow here to break it all down.
Well, there is huge news for the Tar Heels. Kenny Williams is likely out for the remainder of the season with a right knee injury. North Carolina staff has been reluctant to disclose any specifics about his injury, but Roy Williams did say the player will undergo surgery this week and begin a 4 to 6 week recovery period. So what are the Heels going to be missing with Williams out? Well, he started 22 games this season, averaging a little more than 6 points and 3 rebounds. But Williams' biggest contribution doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Roy Williams called him the team's best perimeter defender, so the Heels will have a big void to fill.
Now, Lindsay, we know that the Heels crushed those guys in Raleigh last week, and they even swept away the Virginia Wahoos. What do you think was the key to that game?
Well, Peyton, that's a great question. And if we check out the overall offensive field goal percentages from North Carolina's past 2 ACC opponents, it really does appear that the Heels were able to effectively pressure Virginia's offensive game. But Saturday night, Coach Williams didn't necessarily think lockdown defense was the whole story.
And I do all the time. We cut out clips and show them after the game before we move on. And we cut out bad defenses, but we cut out good defenses too. And so the old eye in the sky don't lie. We'll show it to them and see what it is, and hopefully we'll find we really did a good job defensively and not just hope that they missed a bunch of shots. But I'm just being truthful. If I look at tape and I say, good God, we were good defensively, I'll tell you next time I talk to you.
It looks like we'll have to wait to hear back from Roy for the verdict about that one, but the one thing I think can't be argued is the Tar Heels' move toward consistent intensity and aggressiveness. With high defensive intensity comes quick transitions leading to big-time plays, which bring momentum and energy for the Heels. The crowd on its feet, Theo pumping his arms, and here we are back at square one, using that same energy and hype to feed better defensive play. Let's take a look at this in action. This stuff block from Kennedy Meeks one more time. Holy cow. Theo Pinson takes off down the court, straight to the basket, and one for Pinson. And let's check out Mr. Go-Getter Joel Berry takes a charge, and let's follow him to the other side of the court. Right here, not picking up only one offensive rebound, but also another foul from the Hoos. After Saturday's victory for the Heels, let's look at the ACC standings. 2 of those 4 teams are still in contention for the conference title. Louisville and Duke are both 10-4 in ACC play, with Notre Dame a half game back at 10-5. Barring a collapse from UNC and the others, Florida State is out of the running for the title. There are about 101 different ways the final stretch could play out, but there is one thing that is certain. If the Heels win out, they will be ACC regular season champions for the 2nd year in a row.
Well, winning out against the lineup the Heels are facing to close the regular season will be no easy task. Thanks, Lindsay.
Tar Heel basketball is nationally known for its success in March and the talent it produces at the next level. That talent and a key conference matchup brought ESPN's College Game Day to Chapel Hill this weekend for the 100th episode of their show. Ben Wiggins has a story.
ESPN's College Game Day travels across the country each week to the site of a big game in college basketball. This weekend, the show is in Chapel Hill for a top 15 tilt between number 10 UNC and number 14 UVA. The show was anchored by ESPN college basketball analysts Jay Billis, Reese Davis, Jay Williams, and Seth Greenberg. Students were lined up bright and early on Saturday morning. Many were crafting their signs before doors opened at 9:15. It was UNC's 16th appearance on College Game Day, the most of any school. This begs the question, why Carolina?
People have always cared about Carolina basketball, and they'll continue to care, so College Game Day knows that it's always a safe bet to come to Carolina.
6 national championships, 19 Final Fours, and 30 ACC regular season titles will do that. Carolina has always been a college basketball powerhouse, and the Heels are used to playing in big games that garner national attention.
Because Carolina's good. It has to do with the game more than the location, more than anything. So Carolina's played in more big games than just about anybody's.
Junior Rachel Allure says the UNC students are a big reason why College Game Day has come to Chapel Hill so often.
Probably also because, we have a really passionate student body who's really supportive of our sports teams and really takes the time out of their day, obviously, because people are here at 7:30.
And they aren't the only ones who enjoy the show. Jay Billis has gotten close with his colleagues and loves messing around with them while on air.
So it's fun being around them, and you can tell we're all good friends because all we do is bust each other's chops all the time. We laugh our tails off. It's really fun.
And UNC students feel lucky to have been a part of College Game Day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ben Wiggins reporting.
ESPN announces the game day destination a week before the game, so the show might be coming back to Chapel Hill on March 4th for the rematch against Duke.
With only 2 more home games left in the regular season, you only have a few more chances to get to the Dean Dome this year. And while you're there, you might want to check out the iconic UNC Basketball Museum, which Katie Wilkinson tells us just had its 9th birthday.
Since 2008, the Carolina Basketball Museum has served as a collection of artifacts and historical events that highlight the history of Carolina basketball.
We talked about putting all of that material in one place where Carolina fans of all ages could come and celebrate the great tradition of Carolina basketball.
The planning and construction began in 2006, and after 2 long years of preparation, the museum opened to the public.
It's hard to believe that it's been open for 9 years, but in that time, I think we've had almost 50,000 people have come through.
The museum is packed with former Tar Heel memorabilia, and most of the material was located right here in Chapel Hill. But some of the greatest attributes came with a little travel.
Michael Jordan allowed us to come to Chicago, go to his home, look in one of his trophy rooms that he had at his house, and pick out half a dozen items that we could bring back and put in his case.
Since the museum opened, a Tyler Hansborough case was added. But the museum does not only feature former players. There's a hall dedicated specifically to members of the current team.
We don't want it just to be about the past. We want it to be about the present, and it's something that Carolina basketball has had a great tradition. It's going to continue to have a great tradition. We want to add on to it. We want people, players, both the past players and the current players, to know that they can walk in here and maybe see a little bit of themselves in it.
Although the museum will not increase in size, the historic collection will only continue to grow. In Chapel Hill, I'm Katie Wilkinson reporting.
The Basketball Museum is open to the public Monday through Friday from 10 till 4 and Saturdays from 9 till 1. Admission is free.
The Carolina women's basketball team sent the Yellow Jackets home with a sting on Thursday night. Georgia Tech jumped ahead by 16 points early in this one, but the Heels weren't about to back down. After working their way back up on the scoreboard, Jamie Cherry drops this cherry bomb on the Yellow Jackets, hitting a three to put the Heels up 89-88 in the final 2 seconds. Take another look. Ice in her veins, she's so clutch. Heels win in thrilling fashion. And then on Sunday, the Yum Center just wasn't as appetizing for Sylvia Hatchell and the Heels, as sophomore guard Stephanie Watts sat this one out with a bruised knee. And the story of the game, well, it was Louisville's Asia Durr. She was cooking all night long, scoring 28 points en route to the victory. She hits this three from the top of the key, splash. And then she's going to hit you with a corner three, splash. And you know the rule, hand down, man down, bang. Get this woman some Pizza Hut and some Taco Bell. They win it easily, 87-57. And when Sports Extra returns, the Diamond Heels led off their season against Kentucky.
There's no better way to start the year. How sweet it is.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
You know, some days you're just really feeling it. You know you're on. And for UNC men's tennis, Jack Murray went 5 sets but came out the victor with a final scoreline of 7-5, 6-4, 4-6, 6-7, 7-6. Other days, not so much. Now a Sports Extra's exclusive interview with UNC basketball legend, Mikel Jordan.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna switch up. Talk, buddy.
Hey, don't take it personal. Come on, just focus up. We'll get them next week.
Focus.
We'll be all right.
All right, we're coming back in 5, 4,
Ready?
3. Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
America's favorite pastime has returned to UNC as the Diamond Heels took on the Kentucky Wildcats in the season opening series. On Friday afternoon, Carolina killed Kentucky with all those Ks from J.B. Bukauskas, who had 10 strikeouts in just 6 innings pitched. Second baseman Zach Gahagan drove in 2 RBIs on the day, including this one in the first inning to get the Heels rolling early. Kentucky found out the hard way that it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Heels win the opener 3-1. And then in Game 2, a barrage of hits by the Diamond Heels had them plowing through the middle innings. They stomped on the gas and took a 6-1 lead in the 6th. The Wildcats tried to close the gap, but it wasn't enough as Carolina holds on for the 6-5 victory. Finally, looking for the sweep on Sunday, senior Tyler Lynn made it a 3-0 game in Carolina's favor in the second inning with his 2-run bomb, giving the fans something to cheer about at the Bosch. Then in the top of the third, Wildcat Riley Mahan answered Lynn to tie up the ball game with his own 2-run moonshot. But the Tar Heels regained the lead in the bottom of the third with Kyle Datris' RBI double, bringing in Zach Hagan. You see him there, and the Heels wouldn't look back. Carolina goes on to win it 5-4.
This weekend's sweep of Kentucky gave Coach Mike Fox his 800th victory, a milestone for sure. But Rachel Scott shows us why these early season wins aren't enough to get the Heels into the postseason.
It's a talented group, but inexperienced.
I think I'm only one left that's played in the regional.
That was senior Adam Pate talking about the last time the Heels made it to the NCAA regionals in 2014. Junior Brian Miller says he too remembers last year's disappointment.
Everyone in that locker room felt like we did all we needed to do to make it in.
At the beginning of last season, the Tar Heels won 10 games in a row here at Boshemer Stadium. But this didn't carry throughout the rest of the season as they finished out with a record of 34-21. Not good enough to punch their ticket to Omaha for a second consecutive year. The first time that's happened since 1996.
It's honestly embarrassing. We got to put that behind us and focus on this year.
What the team needs this year is consistency. The Heels' record fell from 18-2 their first 20 games to 16-19 after that. In ACC play, the Sunday game record was 2-8, something head coach Mike Fox says he wants to change.
Sundays can put you in a regional. Sundays can host you a regional. And we had a couple Sundays where we went the wrong way.
A new factor that might change that, freshman Luca Dallatry, who was the starting pitcher on opening Sunday. Plus, returner J.B. Bukowskis will be a major advantage. Right now, he's projected to be a top 10 MLB draft pick. 7 out of 9 starters are returning this year. With these veterans and a new crop of freshmen, the Heels hope they can leave last year in the past and just play ball. In Chapel Hill, I'm Rachel Scott reporting.
The baseball team will take to the field again on Wednesday against Gardner-Webb.
And from Boshemer to Fetzer, it seems that Big Cats just don't have the best of luck against the Heels, as UNC's women's lacrosse team took on the High Point Panthers on Friday. And it was a game of goals as 7 different Heels were able to find the back of the net, but ultimately it was the combo of Marie McCool and Molly Hendrick that led the way. And contrary to her last name, junior midfielder McCool was red hot, dodging, dipping, diving between defenders and scoring 3 goals. And as the night wore on, Hendrick said, "You want a shootout? I'll give you a shootout." And she one-ups her teammate with a game-high 4 goals. With the win, the Heels improved to 3-0 on the season and will take on the Maryland Terrapins in a championship rematch on Saturday. And the number 2 ranked men's lacrosse team took to Fetzer Field as well for its home opener against the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Carolina gave Lehigh hope early on when the Hawks jumped out to an early 2-0 lead. But the Heels bounced back and led Lehigh 11-7 going into the halftime break. Senior attackman Luke Goldstock led the team, scoring a game-high 5 goals, and UNC goalkeeper Brian Balcom finished the game with 10 saves, limiting Lehigh to just 1 goal in the second half. The Tar Heels beat the Mountain Hawks 15-8 and remain undefeated.
Carolina's annual football spring training camp Blue Dawn is in full swing. Before the sun peeks over the horizon, the UNC football team has already put in a full practice of hard work. Teams separated by jersey color migrate from station to station, competing in drills testing agility, endurance, and most of all, determination. From tire pulls to sled pushes, the men push their limits with their eye on the prize. A beautiful Carolina blue sky at sunrise, and an even more beautiful Carolina blue jersey they'll be putting on in 47 days for the spring game. One of the players who needs to step up this year is senior wide receiver Austin Prohl. Jake Bargas tells us how excited Prohl is for reasons other than football.
Ricky Prohl, the wide receivers coach for the Carolina Panthers, is taking a step back from football, which isn't easy after spending 6 seasons with the Panthers and the past 4 as a position coach.
I've always told Austin if he became a starter or an impact player, that I would step away from coaching with the Carolina Panthers.
After playing college football at Wake Forest, he spent 17 seasons in the NFL. Ricky eats, sleeps, and breathes football. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so does his son, Austin. That's why Ricky is fulfilling an old promise and taking some time off from football to watch Austin finish up his college career here at UNC.
I finally get to hear that my dad gets to watch me play. For the longest time during high school, being in college, he's always been so far away.
This year, Austin made it clear that he's an impact player. He finished the 2016 season with 43 receptions, 597 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He should continue padding those stats because he'll likely fill the shoes of former UNC star receiver Ryan Switzer. With the loss of Switzer, Matt Collins, and Bug Howard, Prohl has no choice but to be the guy.
To be able to witness him have success, knowing how hard he's worked to get to this point, was a dream come true for both of us.
And what a dream that is. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jake Vargas, reporting.
Like father, like son. A lot of people are excited to see what Austin does this year on the field, Ricky included.
Now, many of us are in our final semester in Chapel Hill, myself included.
We introduce you to a recent grad who has found a way to stick around.
Over her. Let's go. Let's move. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. My name is Harvey Lauer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The softball team had a busy weekend hosting the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Here to tell us more is Lex Juarez, who's over at Anderson Stadium. Lex.
Thanks, Peyton. The team started Friday night against Ohio State in the first of 4 games on the weekend. Carolina's bats got hot early as the Heels scored 5 runs in the first inning. Katie Bailiff led the Heels at the plate, going 3 for 4 on the day. UNC led until the Buckeyes scored in the top of the 7th on this RBI single, knotting the game at 7. But in the bottom of the frame, Bailiff's walk-off double sent everybody home. A happy Tar Heel team, Carolina 8, Ohio State 7. And Carolina kept its winning ways Saturday, starting with a 5-0 shutout of Purdue. Freshman Brittany Pickett was in the circle and tossed a gem, allowing only 4 hits and striking out 9 while going the distance. Game 2 was a much different story. Carolina trailed Ohio State by just 2 until the Buckeyes scored 6 unearned runs in the bottom of the 6th, taking the game 10-2. On Sunday, it was a 1-1 game heading into the 4th when the Heels put up 9 runs, starting with a 3-run home run to left by Bailiff, her second of the year. Later that inning, senior Kendra Lynch hit another 3-run bomb to deep center field, her 4th on the season. The Tar Heels won the game 10-1 in 5 innings, capping the ACC Big Ten Challenge with a bang. And Peyton, Coach Donna Papa and these Tar Heels should feel pretty good about winning 3 out of 4 games against some tough competition. They'll return to action Wednesday against South Carolina at home.
That's Lex Juarez live from Anderson Stadium. Thanks, Lex.
The UNC gymnastics team took its 3rd consecutive win in just 8 days, with standout performances from 7 Tar Heels that helped defeat 2nd-ranked New Hampshire on Friday night. The Tar Heels were on fire as several gymnasts gave career best performances, earning the team its highest score of the season at the annual breast cancer awareness meet. Gymnast of the Week, Morgan Lane, placed first in the all-around competition with career bests in both bars and floor. And after being named Rookie of the Week, freshman Kezia Hislop gave a personal best performance in the floor that tied her with Lane for first in the event. The Heels will attempt to continue their winning streak when they host William and Mary on Friday.
Getting ready for spring break? One UNC grad is here to help you get in shape. Our Kat Makehamson has the story.
Hannah Fleischman graduated from UNC in 2013, but she can't seem to get out of Chapel Hill. Now Hannah is a personal trainer with her own company, Hand and Arrow. She teaches PHYA 402 at Carolina, not to mention workout classes at UNC sororities. She says she's really bonded with the women.
I'm lucky that I know quite a few of them here on campus already. I used to teach LFIT classes here.
Hannah taught LFIT while she was getting her master's. She says fitness has always been a huge part of her life, and she loves helping people push their bodies.
I'm here at Zeta Tau Alpha, where Hannah instructs workout classes every other Wednesday.
Sometimes they're inside, but if the weather's okay, they're usually right here in this parking lot. Hannah mixes it up between Pilates, yoga, strength, and cardio in her sorority classes. She says yoga and Pure Barre style classes are the popular.
And it's been so much fun to be able to see the girls every week and kind of have consistency, and I hear about what they're working on in their projects or at school or getting ready for spring break.
They admit she can be a little tough, but Hannah's students know it'll pay.
We do a lot of abs, and sometimes she makes us do cardio.
Fleischman is continuing to leave her mark at UNC. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kat Makehamson reporting.
Fleischman also teaches bar classes at Pure Barre in Chapel Hill 4 days a week. And no, not like you go to a bar, it's dance related.
Carolina hosted the Kent Taylor Invitational on Sunday in the indoor regular season finale. Janice Azinwa won the long jump for the Tar Heels with a mark of 17 feet 10 1/4 inches. And Daniel MacArthur, the big fella, won the weight throw with a heave of 54 feet 4 3/4 inches, the 13th best mark in the ACC this year and just barely off his season best. North Carolina will return to action at the ACC Indoor Championships at Notre Dame next weekend. And when Sports Extra returns, we'll take a look back at some of the top plays from an action-packed week.
Our top 3 next, and one of them got national attention.
Diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Oh, be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
It's been a great week of Carolina sports, full of some eye-popping plays.
Here are our picks for UNC's top 3 plays of the week. Coming in at number 3, you've already seen this one. Isaiah Hicks gives it to Justin Jackson, who says, "Back at you, big fella. Monster jam." Isaiah Hicks doing his best Bryce Johnson impersonation with those hops.
And at number 2, we stay on the hardwood, but go to Carmichael. Heels down 2 points, but the hero Jamie Cherry drops a cherry bomb on Georgia Tech for the game winner. Take another look at that. Cherry pulling up from NBA range. Splash!
And the best play of the week comes from the men's tennis squad. This play made SportsCenter top 10 as Ronnie Schneider in an epic rally against Cal, and he's going to finish it off with a little backhand flick. Very sneaky, Mr. Schneider. Very sneaky indeed. Now, Peyton, one of my favorite moments from the weekend wasn't a play per se, but it was Bryce and Marcus being honored at halftime of the basketball game. For someone who, watched them play for 3 years, it was an incredibly emotional time. Everyone there was on their feet cheering, and it was just great to see those guys back in Chapel Hill and getting their jerseys honored.
Yeah, that montage video got me for sure. Tearjerker.
Tears in the eyes,
Oh,
for sure.
little misty-eyed. Yeah, well, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. Good night.